Good afternoon. We wanted just to say hello and also just welcome us back to our podcast with Chad and I today. I want to talk to you a little bit about what the market is doing in Kootenai County. So right now we have about 187,000 in population, and we've been growing like crazy over the past 5 years. Right now we're seeing a little bit of a change in our market. We're still seeing people come over, especially after the California fires. So really what the people that are moving here are California, Oregon, and Washington. And so people call them the cows, which I am one of the cows. I'm originally from California, moved here in 1993, and right after the riots in California, and I'm thankful to be here. So my parents moved us 3 girls here, and we couldn't be happier about that, but we still have a ton of family in California, and we still visit there quite a bit, and we love California for a lot of reasons as well. So with that being said, we wanted to chat a little bit with Chad, like why are people coming this way? A lot of things have changed in other cities and other states, and of course we have too, but why do you think people are really moving here, choosing Idaho over other states?
I think it's a good question. I think, let me just give you the reasons why I moved here.
Yeah.
So I moved here for the first time in 2004, and it was primarily just lifestyle and more laid back than where I was from. I was born in Utah, lived in Idaho Falls for a little while, and then my parents moved to Las Vegas. And so that city, when I moved there, was 750,000 people, and when I left was just over 2 million. Mm-hmm. So you could get across town in 45 minutes, 30 minutes from one end to the other, for the most part, 45 minutes if there's little traffic. And by the time I was done, it was like an hour and a half in traffic. It was like being stuck in rush hour LA traffic. And so I came up to visit here in 2003 and just absolutely loved the laid back lifestyle. And the things that I didn't see when I moved or when I came up here was you didn't see people getting angry if you're putting your blinker on to change lanes. They would wave you in. They would actually give you room to pull in. Open doors for you.
I was just going to say that, opening doors for you, saying hello.
Yep, hello, yeah. I think that, so that was the
community feel.
Yeah, like that initiation to Coeur d'Alene, you know. And then as we got around to kind of like making our choice to move up here in 2004, I realized that there's just so much more to the community. And so with the activities that happen, with the lake lifestyle, with the outdoors lifestyle, the Pro 2A, like that's a huge thing up here.
What's Pro 2A?
Second Amendment, it's gun rights.
Gun rights, yeah.
So, I think people like the freedom. They don't like to be told what to do. Just more of a relaxed lifestyle as far as that goes. And then the schools were good up here too. Yeah. And so
a lot of people ask too, like, how are the schools here in Coeur d'Alene? And we have like sites that people can go and do their own research and all that kind of thing, but they're all great.
Yeah.
And so there's some that have everything has a little bit of a tweak or needs to have a little tweak or whatever, but they're all great. And I think too, like when we moved here from California, I remember us driving through neighborhoods and people would wave at us. Yeah. And my parents were like, is there something on our car? People were like, hi. My parents were like, hello. you know?
Yeah.
So just in that, like, I know over the last 5 years, about 30,000 people have moved here from California.
It's huge.
And then Oregon, I believe, was, I have it written down.
6,000 and change, I believe you said.
I've got it written
6,
down here somewhere. We'll get this down. We'll cut this part out. But, oh my goodness, where is it? So over the past 5 years, California, Oregon, and Washington have really migrated over this direction. 30,000 in the last 5 years from California.
And that is the state of Idaho, not necessarily Kootenai County, but there's been that many people that have moved from out of state to the state of Idaho. Yep.
And then about 15,000 from Oregon and about 6,900 from Washington.
It's a huge amount. That's a big migration.
Let's redo that. That is not true. So let's take that other part out. California in the last 5 years, about 30,000. Washington is about 15,000 people that have moved here to Idaho. And then Oregon is about 6,900 people moved over from Oregon to Idaho. So it's a tremendous amount of people that have really made a change for lifestyle, for peace, for politics. A lot of people have moved over here. So
the family atmosphere that the state of Idaho has, the outdoor lifestyle. I mean,
retirees. That's a big
retirees.
thing.
Yeah, we have a lot of ex-LAPD, a lot of ex-LA sheriffs, fire department. That seems to be the mainstay of what's the population's moving up here.
Yeah.
And then the politics that they're a little bit want more freedom. They don't want to have so much regulation. I think that's been another reason.
I think it's really, what I've heard when we're showing property, people go, it's so clean here. Like the streets are clean, just the surrounding, there's a ton of parks, there's a ton of different areas for kids to go play. We're a big family community too. There's always events, there's always things to bring people together, which I think is really important for families, for anybody. I mean, just getting out and being able to do something, there's a lot of activities.
Yeah, the Centennial Trail is huge. We do this a lot. We in the summertime where we put our bikes on the back of our old 1968 Bronco, and we take it out and just decide where we're going to go, and take Michaela and our daughter Memphis with us. Memphis rides on the back seat, in one of those little car seats on the bike. And so we just go ripping around, and it's fun. And all the trails, stop at a place to grab something to eat, or grab an ice cream cone, or,
I was just gonna say the ice cream.
It's been really fun, getting out into the bike trails and stuff in the area. We haven't done much of that until recently. Yeah. And I think that's another one. And then the other reason a lot of people like to move up here is the outdoor UTV, ATV, snowmobile trail rides. We have so many miles of Forest Service trails.
It's beautiful.
Oh, you can ride for days. You can ride from one end of the state to the other end of the state if you wanted to. You can ride from here to Canada. You can ride between Montana, Washington. Yeah, all the different places you can do. So it's kind of like you can almost do a poker run on one of the trails, and it's really fun. We've done that.
Everybody
before.
grabs their RV or their ATVs or their Razors, and then they go and everybody meets, and then they go do their trail rides, go grab lunch, and all that kind of stuff. So it's kind of fun. Yeah. And that happens all year round. It happens in the snow. It happens summertime, all of that.
Yeah, the only thing you can't do is get on any sort of a closed trail that would be groomed for snowmobiles. But, then you get on your snowmobile and ride. So that's pretty fun too.
So one thing that Chad and I absolutely love to do, we keep our boat down at the Coeur d'Alene Resort, which we love. It's about $5,000 for the season. And we keep it down there so it's easy access just to get down there. You don't have to pull it in and out and all of that.
Deal with the people at the boat ramp, which is always comical.
We were those people at one point. So anyways, we keep our boat down there, but there's so many different lakes that are surrounding our area. And Lake Coeur d'Alene is one of the most popular lakes here. It's about 20 miles long. It's a beautiful lake. There's many restaurants on it, golf courses, different docks you can hang at. A lot of people go into the bays and they'll do like their tie-ups, but also do surfing and wakeboarding and skiing and all of that. So it's so fun to watch. And it's not only that, is you're surrounded by beautiful homes, boathouses, other homes that are actually boats that people live on Lake Coeur d'Alene. And then there's another spot, it's the Quick Launch, which is downtown Coeur d'Alene, which is along the Spokane River. And you can store your boat there as well. And that's roughly about the same charge. It's a little bit less than the Coeur d'Alene Resort, but it's pretty close to that $5,000 per season. And
they pick the boat up, take it out of the water, put it up into a dry storage. They wipe it down. It's more like a concierge type service. It's really cool.
A lot of our friends have places down there too, so it's a good spot to be.
Yeah.
So with that being said, there's a couple stats regarding Lake Coeur d'Alene. So right now, this is beginning of 2025, and there's about 7 listings of waterfront listings on Lake Coeur d'Alene, and the median price is $1.6 million. right now, that's the median. It's about $15,000 a foot for waterfront on Lake Coeur d'Alene, and really ranging right now between 2.6 million and 15 million. And that's our stats for spring 2025.
So not much on the market right now for waterfront. Yeah.
So when they do come on, right now people are looking, and it's a good time to capture one of those properties. I know my husband and I always have our eyes on Lake Coeur d'Alene, and just because we do spend a lot of time there, and it is one of our favorite places to be during the summertime. But there are a lot of different areas. So even with that being said, there are other developments too that you're not exactly on the water, but you have community access, which means that you have a dock possibly down there, or a beach area, or a park area where you can have your boat down there, or be able to share the neighborhood with your community. That is one area where you will pay a little bit less typically in that sense, because it's community, or it might be secondary waterfront. So you do still have that access. So we're looking forward to getting more inventory, which we typically do right in the summertime. So really, like right now between March, April, May, as the snow has melted, and we'll start to see more people putting their houses on the market.
Yeah, that's always a good time to see the new lake listings pop up. As we get excited, we're always on the feeds for those as they pop up as we're looking. And some houses, there's some still budget houses. We were looking at one last night that was at the other end of the lake, about 20-ish miles away from here, closer to the Worley part, and it was $650,000.
Yep.
That's waterfront. I believe it had just over 100 feet of waterfront. Nice dock, 2-story fireplace in the house. Like it could use a little bit of TLC, but there's still some deals to be had on waterfront in Coeur d'Alene. And
we do sell a lot of properties that never hit the market. So we know about other listings that are coming on the market that haven't been exactly exposed to the public quite yet. So if you are looking for something, we'd be happy to help, and we find them all the time. So,
don't forget about Hayden Lake. Hayden Lake is another one where we have there's not quite as many listings on Hayden.
Right now, there's a total of 8 listings that are on Hayden Lake as of March 2025, and there were a total of 21 closings in 2024 on on Hayden Lake. So really, a lot of people like Hayden Lake because of better accessibility. As Coeur d'Alene Lake is 20 miles long, Hayden Lake is a lot smaller than that, but also a very prestigious, beautiful area, also amongst the trees. It's a little bit more accessibility for people. So it's just a roundabout, and it's not as long as a 20-mile lake that takes you a good amount of time to drive around, but not as bad on a boat, of course.
It's a great lake to fish in too. I mean, we've had really good bass fishing days there. I think
great fishing lake.
Yeah, really great fishing lake, game lake.
Yeah.
And then the Matola Marina is there. The Hayden Lake Country Club is there. Obviously, you have to be a member of that one.
And then the Beach House, which is a restaurant there, the Beach House. Their median home price is 1.9 on Hayden Lake. So you can find homes that are a lot less, of course, but that is just the median as of this year, 2024.
Yeah. And then don't forget, we have also got Pend Oreille from here too, and that's the largest lake in Idaho. It's a huge lake.
Huge lake, beautiful lake, goes all the way down from Bayview, which is right where they did the submarine Navy base.
Back in World War II.
In World War II, that goes all the way up north, all the way up to basically Schweitzer and up to our ski mountain. So just for Pend Oreille, there are 10 active listings, 19 closings. Median price is 1.5 million. And then for the frontage is about $10,000 per foot for frontage on Lake Pend Oreille. I did forget to tell you guys about Spokane River. So Spokane River connects to Lake Coeur d'Alene, and they have the highest price per foot for frontage, and the reason being is because of accessibility. Super close to everything. You can go to the grocery store and come right back home. So I think that is the big deal about Spokane River.
Yeah, on the north side of the road, or the north side of the river, it's the easiest access to downtown, the easiest access to just about every part of Coeur d'Alene, Post Falls. So there's a lot of people that live on the river that work in Spokane. So it's not very far from the freeway. You have access. The roads are always plowed in the winter, and so it is true year-round living. Where some of the houses on the lake might be a little sketchy getting down into some of those areas in the wintertime with the snow.
So Spokane River, this is also a fun fact, $43,000 per foot on Spokane River. So that tells you the need, the desire of that area, and just being able to pop on the boat, go have a day, come back, go to work, whatever it may be, or have skiing in the morning, which a lot of people do. They'll go and surf in the morning or water ski or whatever it is in the morning. We see that a lot. All right, let's see. So Spokane River, this is another fun fact about Spokane River, is 7 active listings as of right now. 13 homes closed on the Spokane River in 2024. And the median home price, which is our highest, is $3 million. That's the median for Spokane River. So it's just highly desired.
Yep, the most desirable spot in North Idaho, really.
If you bought on the Spokane River, you did good.
Yeah, especially if you bought post 2008 to 2012 area. There were some deals to be had then.
There was. So homes, Kootenai County, acreage homes. So 935,000 is the median for acreage home in Kootenai County. This can include your shop, just having your elbow room. So there were a total of 298 closed with a shop or with acreage. What does that tell you about Idaho? Everybody has a toy.
Yeah.
So they need room for their farm animals, or they need room for their boat, their RV, whatever it may be. So everybody just wants a little bit of room. And that's another reason why people move to Idaho for that reason. They just want that extra space.
I think a lot of people, they get so stuck, they've lived in a basic neighborhood in a different area that is a 7,000 square foot lot, and they're just sick of seeing their neighbors. And so I think that's the biggest want. Everybody that I've been dealing with as of late has been, I want acreage. I want to be away from my neighbor. I want to have a little bit of privacy. I want to have trees on my lot. I want to have ability to build a shop. But I also don't want to be too far from the activities. So, within 25 to 30 minutes of downtown Coeur d'Alene, there's quite a bit availability for house on acreage. 1 acre, most of them are 5 acre parcels, some 10, some 20. But the majority of them are in that 5 acre range. And that's kind of like the most common out here.
That's a good point to bring up, because most people say, gosh, I would love to have just 1 acre. 1 acre. I don't need 5, but I think in reality, people think if they just take less acreage, it will be less money. And that's not necessarily the case. Because of the uniqueness of getting an acre or a half acre or 2 acres or 3 acres or even 4 acres, that is really, really unique. So it ends up being more money than a 5 acre parcel. So when you're thinking about acreage and you're going, well, gosh, I'll just come down, that must mean that the price will come down. No. That just means the price will go up because of how unique it is. So we can help you find those, of course. And there are acre parcels, there are half acre parcels, 3 acres, 2 acres, that kind of thing. But there's more 5 acre parcels because of how they divide.
Yeah, it's more expensive to buy a land close to divide it into 1 acre lots than it would be divided into 1/4 acre lots, which is way more common. So you're getting more density. They're making more money on that. So that makes sense. So very few lots in this area. The Meadows neighborhood in Post Falls is all acre. Most houses are 2,500 square foot. Shops. Prairie Meadows is half acre with shops.
Just really unique.
Yeah, really unique type of neighborhood.
And they do. I mean, we just heard about a developer that's doing half acre lots in the Hayden area. And with custom homes and shops. That's really our bread and butter for this area. That's what people want, and so they're really trying to capitalize on getting people what they want, which is that extra space.
Absolutely.
Everybody wants a little bit more room. Everybody who has our cars barely can fit into 2-car garages anymore. 3 cars is even tight for 2 vehicles sometimes, so having that shop is really beneficial.
Like we've used our shop all the time, and it stores our camper, it stores our ATV, it stores our classic Bronco,
and
tools, and all the other stuff that we can't put in our 3-car garage, which is oversized at our house. But
So tell me, I know that people are moving here. We all know that, right? And so why do you think people are moving to Idaho? And, after the fires that happened in California, a lot of people are adjusting their lives. We were thinking, like, do we want to, I've been hearing this from a lot of buyers, is we've already thought about moving, but now watching this in California with the fires and the insurance and all that kind of stuff, we've actually upped our ante and we're ready to maybe move sooner.
Yeah.
So I know, like, one thing I heard this past week is from an insurance guy is that you need to take pictures of your whole entire house, which Chad and I need to do the same, of everything in your home. So from one, room to the next, just taking photos and putting it in a folder on your email. So don't just put it on your computer, because if your computer burns, it's gone. But if it's in your email, then you can obviously find that.
Accessible, yeah. Or put it in the cloud somewhere so that you always have ability to get it. I think that's a thing.
Yeah. So it's important to have that and to do that. But now we're starting to see a lot of people going, I thought it was going to be a year from now, but I think it'll be sooner than that.
Yeah. My last client that we just sold a 5-acre parcel to with a home out in Spirit Lake, which is about 30 minutes, this property about 30 minutes from downtown Coeur d'Alene. And his major reason was he's lived in a neighborhood. It's regular small lots, 3-bedroom, 2-bath type neighborhood. And he's always had neighbors to the right or left you could look out the window on. And he was just kind of over that.
Yeah.
And so
pass an egg through the window too.
Yeah, that's kind of what it was. And when he had very specific needs when he came up. He is from Southern California. And he said, I want to have at least an acre. We narrowed that down to, we're not looking at acres, we're looking at 5-acre lots after we did all of our research. We showed him about 5 or 6 properties in the course of a day. Everything was either 5 acres or 10-acre parcels. And he came to the point of, because we had narrowed it down to 2 houses, and he went, okay, I love the house on 10 acres, but how much time am I going to spend on this 10 acres taking care of it? So that's something you need to think about. There's a lot of, in the wind, the trees fall down. There's, you're going to have to go mow and do some forestry stuff in there. And maintain it. Yeah. And then also a longer driveway that you might need on the 10 acres. And so when we narrowed it down to a 5-acre parcel. It was a little bit close. The home was a little bit closer to the road. It still was treed, still very private. But that it met all of his needs. And I think that's kind of the thing that I'm seeing. It's just over and over and over again that people wanted to have the trees. They don't want to have like a bare lot that's 5 acres. They want the trees. They want the North Idaho experience. And for the most part, we have the ability to provide that here.
Yeah.
So, it is getting a little bit fewer closer in. Most of those 5-acre parcels are now getting a little bit further out.
As we grow, everything is moving more north or south.
Yep.
Yes. And some, actually, to be honest, a lot of people are going east as well, which is a little bit farther to like the Shoshone County area into the valley.
Yep.
Because there are some deals to be had out there too.
Yeah.
So I think that's important. That just reminds me I have to run a CMA on a property out there.
It's, in the valley, Silver Valley.
Poland,
Yeah, good. Yeah.
Yes, I just remembered that. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think that is the biggest deciding factor of moving up here is the quiet factor, the quality of people, the easier lifestyle that they're dealing with, the freedom, and that's just big in North Idaho. I think just people love to be up here and have the freedom of being able to go out onto their land and recreate the way they want to, and then also have the ability to leave their house on a licensed ATV or UTV and drive to the forest areas, where you can't do that in a lot of states, and I think that's
or ski mountains too.
Or ski mountains, access to that as well.
We have quite a few ski mountains around too that are beautiful. Some well-renowned skiing resorts like Schweitzer and Silver Mountain and Lookout, and then we have Spokane as well, which is in Washington. There's many different ski mountains that people like to go to, and they're all closer. They're all within an hour. And some of them you can stay the night at too and make it a whole weekend. So it's we have so much to do here. It's hard to leave sometimes, other than when we decide that we're done with winter about January, February, March. We're like, we're going to go chase the sun. So we'll go travel for a weekend and get our boost and then back to real estate and family time here.
Yeah, the time that we never want to leave is the same time that all the tourists want to come in. And,
never leave.
Which is, it's just, that Memorial Day to Labor Day weekend.
Yes.
That's like our prime season, which is also the reason why we love living here, because we love the boat life. That's just kind of the thing that we do. We do that with family, with all of our friends, and we've created long-lasting relationships with people on the lake, and it's amazing.
Yeah. So just to tie it up here, I just want to go over a little bit about the 2025 market. Right now, we're still having affordability issues. So even though our median price right now is about that $550 range, we're still trying to capture some of those 3s and 4s for our buyers that are really trying to get into the market or want to buy an investment property, that type of thing. So we're starting to see that in 2025. There's a lot of builders that are starting to create that inventory for us and for you. Of course, the rates have been volatile, up and down. We did just see them go down, which we're appreciative of that. But also, don't forget, you may see an interest rate that's not appealing to you. We can buy those rates down, and we'd be happy to explain how that happens and how we can make that affordable for you. Where when we do buy those rates down, it helps you with your payment. Most likely, your payment is what you're really after. So, like the price, whether it be $300,000 or $400,000, you're not really looking at the price. We're trying to make that payment for you. So that's what we're more concerned for you, which I know that's what you're concerned about too, because so are we. So we want to make sure that that's good for you. Right now we're having a little bit of a slow population growth compared to the other years, and that's okay. We can stay small. We did have a big growth as we went over those numbers before. But right now we're seeing people starting to click and people starting to come this direction. Thank you for joining us in our YouTube channel and listening to a few of our tips, tricks, and also information about what's happening in the Coeur d'Alene and surrounding market. And we hope you have a great day.
Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, like our video, and click the little bell at the bottom so that you can get all the updates as they come in from the Corcoran-Hall team.
Awesome. See you later.